mystery writers, Happy New Year. And today we're going to talk about tension in your mystery and why it's important to keep your readers engaged in your story. But first, I want to thank my patrons on Patreon who support this video series and my writing. So if you'd like to join us, there's a link in the description below. Okay, so solving the puzzle, how tension keeps your mystery engaging. And you want your story to be engaging so readers turn pages. That's the whole deal, right? If you've ever gotten lost in a mystery, you know how, you know the excitement of trying to piece together all the clues and solve the puzzle before that protagonist detective. But have you ever stopped to think about why that sense of tension is so crucial to the genre? And for writers, this is really important. So first, let's review a couple of key mystery elements so you'll understand who's at play here in creating tension in your mystery. The protagonist is the main character trying to solve the crime. That's it. That's your detective. The antagonist is often the perpetrator of the crime. It's the person who doesn't want your detective to solve the mystery. So, and also in your story, you can have opponents who try to throw your detective off track. All right. And then another set of important characters are the suspects. Those are the individuals who could potentially be that antagonist villain. So just for a moment, imagine a mystery with no tension. The protagonist simply gathers clues and effortlessly narrows down the list of suspects until the true antagonist is revealed with no conflict or challenges. This would likely lead to a very boring and unengaging story. In all likelihood, your mystery reader would leave the story before they even finish. Okay? So you want an invested reader. You want to get your reader invested in your story. And tension helps do that. If the protagonist is constantly thwarted by the antagonist and other forces in their life, and they face personal crises that threaten to derail the investigation, the story becomes much more compelling, right? The reader is interested. They're wondering what's going to happen next. They're wondering, how is your protagonist going to solve this problem in order to get to solving the mystery, right? And your reader wants to see your detective protagonist overcome those obstacles, all right? As they start rooting for your detective, all right? But tension is building uncertainty in your story in many ways. And it isn't just about the protagonist's personal struggles. The puzzle itself also creates tension. So how is your detective going to solve this puzzle? And of course, there's always that thing in the back of your mystery reader's mind that they want to solve the puzzle before your protagonist does, all right? And that's a lot of tension for your reader. So as your reader gathers clues and tries to solve the mystery alongside the protagonist, that feeling of uncertainty and the desire to know the truth creates a sense of tension for your reader. So tension is essential for your mystery because it keeps the reader engaged and invested in your story. Without it, the puzzle would be too easy to solve, and the story would lack the excitement that makes a mystery so beloved. And as I said before, if without the tension, your reader's probably going to leave before they even get to the end of your story. So let's look at some ways that you can add tension to your story. You've got your story outlined, you've got the crime, you've got the villain, you've got the protagonist, you know who the suspects are, and now you want to add that all-important tension to your story. One thing you can do is use red herrings, and these are false clues that mislead the reader and the protagonist, and they create a sense of confusion. It's like this tension is created because the reader is led to believe that certain suspect or events are connected to the crime, and yet they aren't. So that's what's called a red herring. And you want to use these sparingly, but they do add to your story. It's like your detective goes down this path, following this clue, and all of a sudden they discover, oh no, it wasn't even a clue. So you can do that 2, maybe 3 times in your story, no more than that. 2 or 3 red herrings max. But they do add tension when you use them in your story. And another way to add tension in your mystery is through the use of that ticking clock. A sense that time is running out. This could be a literal deadline for the protagonist to solve the crime. They need to solve the crime before something else happens. Or it could be the fear that the antagonist will strike again, and your protagonist wants to solve that mystery puzzle before the antagonist does something else. All right. This creates a sense of urgency and a sense of questioning for your reader. Will your protagonist solve the mystery in time? All right. And so that adds to the overall tension of the story. And then there are the stakes in your mystery. They need to be high. What does your protagonist have to lose if they don't solve the crime? All right. If the crime is minor or the consequences are low, the reader may not feel invested in the story. It really doesn't matter if your detective solves the crime or not. But if the stakes are high and there are significant consequences for your detective, then the reader becomes much more invested in solving that crime along with your detective. All right, so tension is a crucial element of a mystery. You just need it. It keeps the reader engaged. It adds to the puzzle, and it increases the stakes for your protagonist. So without tension, a mystery falls flat. So you want to look at the ways to add tension. This is the story part of your mystery. You may plot out all the details and what the clues are and who did it and all of that. But in order to create an engaging story that keeps readers turning pages, you need to add that tension. Okay, that's it for tension for today. Just think about it as you're creating your story. And I'd like to invite you, if you want to know more about writing a mystery, please check out Write a Killer Mystery. The link is in the description below. And once again, thank you for being here, and keep writing.